Hyper Paradox with Let's Play Pokemon Trading Card Game. I am super psyched to do this because this is my very first LP ever. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think now is a good time to start doing it. So I'm just going to type in Hyper right here. Well, you know what? I'm just going to use the given name, Mark. Mark is crazy about Pokemon and Pokemon card collecting. One day, Mark heard a rumor. The legendary Pokemon cards, the extremely rare and powerful cards held by Pokemon Trading Card Game's greatest players. The Grand Masters are searching for one to inherit the legend. Dreaming of inheriting the legendary Pokemon cards, Mark visits the Pokemon card researcher Dr. Mason. So this is essentially the trading card game equivalent of Professor Oak, Dr. Mason. And he mirrors Oak in a lot of ways. He is the lead Pokemon card researcher. And I have to say something, that cannot be a crowded field. I mean, seriously, how many people can you think of that research Pokemon cards for a living? It's a mystery to me. But he's going to invite us over to the table, and he'll want to know if we need any help in learning about the aspects of the game. I don't, so I don't need to go through it. So what we're going to do here is a practice duel, and he's going to be coaching us. But he says it might be easier if you read the Pokemon Trading Card Game instruction booklet. The game, when it was released in 1998, contained an instruction booklet, and it had a play-by-play commentary of this duel. But we're going to practice against Sam right here. So here's how the trading card game works. Basically, each player draws 7 cards, and they have to place one Pokemon as their active Pokemon, the Pokemon they're going to battle with. This is kind of like your Pokemon that's currently battling in the standard games. And after we do that, we have to put some Pokemon, if we are able to, on the bench. The bench is kind of like your Pokeballs, if you would. So ordinarily you play with 6 prizes, but in this duel we're only going to be playing with 2, since it is a practice duel. So in order to do anything, attack or retreat, which I'll explain later, Pokemon need energy cards. And they're typically going to need energy cards that correspond with their type. For example, Goldeen is a water Pokemon, so it needs water energy in order to attack. Alright, so now it's his turn. Unfortunately, Dr. Mason doesn't talk during Sam's turn. See, Machop is a fighting Pokemon, so it needs a fighting energy. Unfortunately, if things keep going as the way they are, Goldeen is going to get knocked out. So we'll need to evolve it into a Seaking. Seaking is a Stage 1 evolution card, and Stage 1 evolution cards can be put on certain basic Pokemon. The evolution rules from Red, Blue, and Yellow and Pokemon still apply to the trading card game. So you can't put a Charizard on a Magikarp, as ridiculous as that sounds. Now you'll notice that this attack right here, Waterfall, has a star-shaped symbol next to the water energy. That is what is known as a colorless symbol. And what that means is you can attach that. What that means is that any type of energy will fulfill that requirement. Now, evolution cards, as you probably guessed, are more powerful than basic Pokemon. Their attacks are stronger, and they have higher HP. However, the energy cost for their attacks is greater. So now that Seeking has enough energy, we don't need to attach any more to it. What we'll want to do is attach our water energy cards to our bench Pokemon to get them ready for battle. One more thing I should mention, during this tutorial, if you don't do what Dr. Mason says, you'll be forced to repeat the turn. To do the turn over, I should say. Now, whenever you knock out your opponent's active Pokemon, you get to pick up a prize card, and the player who picks up all their prize cards first wins the duel. And just as Goldeen evolved into Seeking, he evolved his Rattata into Eradicate, as you just saw there. Now, something you should know, something I should tell you, is that if your Pokemon is knocked out, like I did to Machop, you have to replace your knocked out Pokemon with Pokemon on your bench, and that will become your new active Pokemon. However, if you don't have a Pokemon to replace your knocked out Pokemon with, if you don't have any Pokemon on your bench, you automatically lose. So you'll want to keep as many Pokemon on your bench as possible. So since our Seeking was knocked out, we have to replace it with one of our Pokemon. And he's going to suggest we put Staryu as our new active Pokemon, while Drowsy remains uselessly on the bench. So since Staryu evolves into Starmie, we're going to need to attach more water energy cards so it can attack when it's evolved. And we're going to use Slap. Right now, let's see Sam take his turn. Okay, so we just put another Machop on the bench, and he's going to power it up. Now, he just retreated his Raticate. If your Pokemon has sustained heavy damage, sometimes it's a good idea to retreat them. What that means is that you replace your current active Pokemon with another one on your bench. However, in order to do so, you need to discard one of the energy cards attached to your Pokemon. Typically, the more powerful the Pokemon, the higher the retreat cost. As you just saw, Raticate needs to discard one energy card in order to retreat. Some Pokemon require 2 or even 3 energy cards to retreat. And some Pokemon, like Goldeen, don't require any energy cards for them to retreat. And now, we have a Starmie card, finally! So we're going to evolve our Staryu into Starmie. What? Staryu is evolving! And we're going to attack this Machop with Star Freeze. Now, some attacks have a secondary effect. In this case, Star Freeze allows me to flip a coin, and if heads, the opponent is paralyzed. I'll get into what status ailments do a little bit later in this playthrough. Since this is just a tutorial, I'm just going to share with you the basics. And since Machop can't do anything, let's finish it off. And I apologize for the slow text. There's really nothing I can do about that at this point. You can change the configuration in the menu and have the text travel faster, which is what I'm going to do from here on out. Because this is rather slow text, and believe it or not, this is on medium speed. So we beat Sam, and now we know how the trading card game works. I always thought this was a good outlet for one to learn the trading card game. Because when I first got this game, I didn't know how to play, and then I started playing this game again and again, and I started getting better at the actual card game. Nowadays I don't keep up with it, but still, it is fun to play. Now, a la Pokemon Red and Blue, you get your choice of one of 3 starter decks, appropriately modeled after Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. I'm going to pick the Charmander and Friends deck. I said I'm going to pick the Charmander and Friends deck. Except this really isn't the Charmander and Friends deck, but more about that later. Oh well. But, he's going to suggest we go to the card clubs, which are essentially the Pokemon gyms of this game. But anyway, I think this is a good place to stop. So next time on Let's Play Pokemon Trading Card Game, we're going to go to one of the card clubs. This is Hyper Paradox, signing off.